Hello everyone. In this video, we'll specifically discuss section 22, or we'll revise section 22, and we'll do a question of this section 22. This is a trial video which I'm making for YouTube. In future to come, I'm trying to fix my algorithm. So we'll start with the revision. So as per section 22, which says about person liable to take registration, so it discusses about aggregate turnover limit. Aggregate turnover limit. So aggregate turnover limit are pre-decided based on this two categories of special state and third category is other state. So we'll start with first category of special state. So we have also made shortcut, which is MMTN and MASPUT. I'm student of Amit Mahajan, of course. I have taken his practice batch. It's lovely. Personally liked it. So from here I changed something over here. He says about samput, or SAMPUT, and I have interchanged this S to M and M to S. You can make it as you like, and then I'll start with this. So MMTN stands for Manipur, M for Manipur, M for Mizoram, T for Tripura, and for Nagaland. So these are all our acronyms. You can make it of your own. Coming here, for this first category of special state, the aggregate turnover limit is only 10 lakhs. The second category of special state is Masput. I'll acronymize it as Masput itself. You can tell it as Samput or something like that. So the M stands for Meghalaya, A stands for Arunachal Pradesh, S stands for Sikkim, P stands for Puducherry, U stands for Uttarakhand, and T stands for Telangana. Here the limit extends to 20 lakhs. Okay, so you might get confused in it. This all three are M's, so at least you need to revise it for a couple of times. You need to do a couple of questions so that you will realize that Manipur and Mizoram, which are quite unique already, will be in first category of 10 lakhs, and the second one M is at 20 lakhs. The second confusion you might get on this T and T. So this Tripura being of course special, it is very rarely used, so it's of 10 lakhs. Then third is Telangana, it's of 20 lakhs. Now coming here to other states. So in other states, it's further divided into two parts. Either you will be supplying exclusively goods, or the second will be supplying exclusively services, or bundled with both goods and services. So the limits of both are pre-decided in a singular manner, which is simply 20 lakhs. Okay, so the limit over here is 20 lakhs. I have not it highlighted. Let me highlight it. So it's 20 lakhs over here. So let me do something. Let me remove all this battery and all tool. How do I remove it? Yeah, status bar. I'll remove it. So coming over here, so here we come back to exclusively goods. Here it is further divided into two parts, specifically handicraft goods and other goods. Handicraft goods is very special in registration chapter because it is also an exception. It gives an exception, exception rule to not be registered for casual taxable person. We'll discuss it in next section, of course. Please don't mind my stuttering. I'm basics to it. I'm an amateur into teaching. I'm just revising with myself, so please bear with me. In a couple of videos I'll be fluent in it. So in handicraft, so in handicraft goods, I hope I didn't erase anything. Okay, so in handicraft goods we have two kinds of supply. First is intrastate supply, or second one is of course interstate supply. So interstate supply, similar to this one, again the limit is 20 lakhs. So we got 20 lakhs in three parts. Second category of special states, exclusively services or both, and interstate supply of handicraft goods. But if a person does intrastate supply of handicraft goods, the limit is 40 lakhs. Again, coming here away from handicraft goods, if we come here from other goods means anything other than handicraft goods. As you can see in the highlighted part, anything other than handicraft goods is other goods. So again, it's divided into two parts, which is intrastate supply and interstate supply. Wherein intrastate supply, similar to handicraft goods, it is 40 lakhs, and interstate supply, it is a very important part. If other goods we are supplying interstate supply, or if I put emphasis on this interstate supply, you need to be mandatorily registered irrespective of your aggregate turnover. Coming here, I'll tell you how the section is derived. So basically what the section says, I'll erase it later on. So basically the limit is always 20 lakhs, which is divided. Further, what it says is 10 lakhs is for special category state, which is MMTN, and secondly it's 40 lakhs for other goods for normal other states. And this special elevation of limit is not given to another kind of specific state, which is sum put or mass put. So this MMTN and mass put is the acronym which we used over here. So this is how the section was derived. So whenever we'll do the questions, we'll write first section 22 says that the limit is 20 lakhs. However, it's 10 lakhs only for special category states, and if the person is specifically engaged in supply of other goods other than handicraft goods, then the limit shall be elevated to 40 lakhs. However, this elevation is not given, or this benefit is not given to some specific state, which is mass put or Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh. As you can see, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim, Puducherry, Uttarakhand, Telangana. So from here we realize something, which is generally it's 20 lakhs. Okay, generally everywhere you see it's 20 lakhs, but as we have told, the 10 lakhs is for special category state. That's why we gave them special section. And then we realized it's for other goods, then that's why we came here for 40 lakhs here. However, I forgot to tell you one thing. This 40 lakhs is given only for intrastate supply, other state plus intrastate or intrastate. So if a person does intrastate, that's why we see intrastate in the both cases it's 40 lakhs. So that's how it's derived. And then so after deriving it all, we have a last part, plus we'll do it if a person is engaged in interstate plus other goods, because relaxation is given to handicraft goods to do interstate supply without being registered up to limit of 20 lakhs. But here, coming back here again, if a person does interstate supply plus other goods, then they must be mandatorily registered. So this is how the section is derived, and we will use this way, we will use the same this way while we will be solving the questions, which I'll solve it over here again. After it, we'll solve a questions. In this video, we'll be solving only one question. In coming videos, we'll solve couple of questions. So, and we have other parts as well, or other points in this section. The same is goes what I don't know why am I blabbering. Trust me, I'm good at conversation, but in this video I'm blabbering. I think I'll take some videos to get used to it. So In case of notified goods, the upper limit of 40 lakhs is to be cut down to 20 lakhs, subject to 10 lakhs for this MMTN states. So again, if I tell you, so if a person is engaged in notified goods supply intrastate also, but so to them 40 lakhs limit shall not apply. This 40 lakhs will boil down or be cut down to 20 lakhs. So what are these notified goods? So here are some of the notified goods. You need not by heart it. It's just that in question they'll give you, they are engaged in, for example, Ram or Mr. X is engaged in supply of any one of this. You just, your bell needs to ring at the time. So I'll discuss it. The first one is ice cream or edible ice. Here it should come cocoa or not. Whether cocoa or not, it does not matter. Second one is pan masala. Third one is tobacco and manufactured tobacco substitute. The fourth one is fly as brick or fly as aggregate or fly as block. The fifth one is brick of fossil meals or similar siliceous earth. The sixth one boils down to building bricks. Seventh one, earthen and roofing tiles. Eighth one is aerated water. You need not learn it, neither you need to learn what does this mean. I can tell you, but it will be more than 2 hours video. You just need to know that in question when it comes, they'll tell you they are engaged in supply of mostly ice cream or pan masala or tobacco or building bricks or aerated water, something like that, or fly as anything. You'll realize it. So mostly it's an easier part. It's just that your bell must ring in question. The second part is if the interstate supply of goods except handicraft goods, they need to be mandatorily registered, as I have said it over here. Again over here, if we come, so we have discussed the aggregate turnover limit. So what shall be included in aggregate turnover, we'll discuss it over here. So mostly this is not written in the section. I have done the addition because in question you might get confused. So in aggregate turnover, taxable supplies must be included. Along with that, exempt supply must be included. For example, if you see A, B, C supplies, maybe one of them might be alcohol, which is not included, or it might be petrol or petroleum products, which is an exempt supply. It's not covered in GST, of course, but still you need to add it while calculating aggregate turnover. You need to also add the export. You need to also add interstate supplies. Intrastate is included here itself. So they just have specifically mentioned intrastate. So this all 4 are mentioned in the section, and this one, so it will exclude the GST charge. For example, something cost 100 rupees plus 18% GST is charged, then it boils down to total 118 rupees. So while you calculate the aggregate turnover, please do not calculate GST. So turnover shall only boil down to 100 rupees. So it's my fair note, that's why I'm not spoiling it. Also in some of the question you will see stuff like inward supply of RCM, outward supply of RCM. So if you have an outward supply of RCM, it is to be included, but if you have an inward supply of RCM, it shall not be included. For example, I'll give you an example over here. So imagine a person A, or let's see, a supplier S supplies an goods in which reverse charge mechanism is applicable to a recipient. Okay, so over here recipient will deduct the GST and he'll pay to the government directly. But what happens is, since he already deducts the GST, so there is always a question in people's mind that whether to add in his sense or a minus in his sense. For example, stuff is sold for 100 rupees over here, plus 18. Of course this GST won't be applicable, only this 100 rupees applicable. So in whose aggregate turnover shall it be included? So the answer is in outward supplies. Wherever there is an outward supply, you need to add it over here, but in the in the reverse, but in the inward supply it is not to be added. So that is the thing. I have added it. If you get a theory question, please do not write this, or please do not write this as well. Coming here, we'll solve a question. If you have come from the reels, I have only discussed the question over here. I'll discuss it again. So the question goes like this. You have pure oils. It's a pure oil limited. I have taken this question from the question bank of Amit Mahajan itself. So there is pure oils based on Delhi. If I erase everything over here and let me strike this off. So pure oils of Delhi has supplied machine oil and high speed diesel in the month of April as per details given in the table below. Pure oils is not yet registered. The first one is supply of machine oil in Delhi itself, it's an intra. Supply of high speed diesel in Delhi itself, it's also an intra. Supply of machine oil made in Punjab by. So now here the question might come that whether it is in Delhi, supply made in Punjab, is it an interstate supply or an intrastate supply? The answer will get over here itself. So the oil is made in Punjab there itself by Pure Oils itself. So they have not even bought or outsourced from someone. It's made in its branch located in Punjab itself. That's why it's an intrastate supply. Again, we'll get the second question. So what does the question ask? The question asks about determine whether Pure Oils is liable for register or not. So we'll refer the same section 22 which we discussed earlier. So we'll discuss it. So the first part is which aggregate turnover would be applicable. So since it is an intrastate, so the only question was over here because both of them are intrastate. In fact, speed diesel is not even a taxable supply. It is an exempt supply. I have written over here as well. It is one of the petroleum products which is not included in GST. That's why it is an exempt supply. However, as we have discussed, exempt supply is to be included in aggregate turnover. That's why we will include it in aggregate turnover. So coming over here, we will add this. We will also add this. We will also add this. So we have two states over here. Intrastate supply in Punjab, intrastate supply in Delhi. Both of them do not come in any one of these special category states. So that and secondly, it's supply of machine oil, so which is goods itself, taxable goods, which is not an handicapped goods. So what will be the aggregate turnover applicable? Yes, you're right. The aggregate turnover limit would be 40 lakhs, which is over here. However, had it been, if it was written over here, the supply of machine oil by Pure Limited, for example, striking this up. Let's striken this up, made in Punjab. Let's striken this up from its branch. If it was like this, it would be an interstate supply, which would make it mandatory to be registered. However, so if that was the case, then it would be easier. But it's not the case. We'll be solving in another way. So coming over here, so we'll add this, we'll add this, we'll add this. So by computing, if I'm correct, it boils down to 15 plus 10, it's 25, plus 10 is 35. So total is 35 lakhs. However, the limit is 40 lakhs. So what do you think? It is below the aggregate turnover limit. So will it be liable to be registered? Of course not. So it is not liable to be registered. I'm teaching you, so it is taking some time, but when you'll be solving, it will not take much time. So the answer is not that simple. If you think that you will do the mathematics and this show that it's not liable to be registered, it does not work that way. Even in GST you need to solve like you did in law. So I have pre-solved it. We'll discuss it how to do that. As I had explained you over here part I'm forgetting whatever. So we'll do the same way. So first I'll explain you how do we solve this case study questions. So first we will do provisions. If you know the section it's good, but in intermediate it's not absolute necessary, but if you remember then it's lovely. The second part would be facts and analysis, wherein we'll discuss about the case and we'll relate to the provisions which we have written over here. The third part would be the conclusion, wherein we will conclude it. So we had discussed this section 22 as a flow chart, but we'll not be discussing this as a flow chart. We will be discussing or we will be writing the answer based on how it is written in the section. So as I had explained you, first they have mentioned 20 lakhs, or first they have mentioned everything as 20 lakhs remit. Then they have discussed some of the special category states have only 10 lakhs limit, and then they have mentioned some of the special some of intra-state supply of goods have 40 lakhs upper limit, and to some of the states it is not applicable also. Plus also interstate is mandatorily to be registered. So what should we write in the answer? So this 20 lakhs general limit will of course come in provision. Of course we'll show about this 10 lakhs, and of course we'll show that some of the states 40 lakhs shall be applicable. Since we have not had since any of the state, this Delhi and Punjab, these are not special category states, so we'll not discuss about to whom 40 lakhs upper limit is not applicable. We'll not discuss about this one, and since none of them is interstate, so we can skip both part. Even if you write, it is not a wrong thing, but removing all the unnecessary provisions is also part of saving time. So we'll write about this 20 lakhs. So it goes in this way. As per section 22 of the CGST Act 2017, you know this. If you don't know, as per the relevant provisions of the CGST Act 2017, a person is liable to get registered if his aggregate turnover, do not write it as only turnover, if his aggregate turnover exceeds 20 lakhs or 10 lakhs in case of special category states. Had it been special category states in the question, we would have here itself specified about which are the special category state, but since it is not required, we'll just give it a shortcut over here. The second one will come to, so we are done with this one, we are done with this one, now we'll go with this one. So we'll write over here, however, a person is engaged in supply of goods, pardon me, you should not remove this exclusivity part. However, a person engaged exclusively in supply of intrastate or within the same state, then threshold limit would be extended to 40 lakhs. However, you can make it a shortcut, or you can save some space, however, by writing in such a way, a person engaged exclusively in instead of this intrastate supply of So I think this would be a better answer, but still I have written it, so let me do that. Then the threshold limit would be extended to 40 lakhs if such person is located. Here we have to discuss that which of the states are we talking about, but since as we have realized on to some special category states, this extended limit of 40 lakhs is not applicable. So here we discuss about it. If such person is located or established in any state other than specified states listed below, herein you please list all the states wherein this 40 lakhs will not be applicable. First we write this MMTN limit, then we write this mass put limit as well. Mass put limit, no, not the limit, we'll only specify the states over here, and it from this sentence will understand that to these states this extended limit of 40 lakhs shall not be applicable. Since we have other states, it will, extended limit of 40 lakhs will be applicable. Also here we have determine whether pure oils is liable to be registered, so we need to calculate aggregate turnover as well. So here in the third one we'll write how to calculate aggregate turnover. Here the same thing applies. So as I had told you, ignore this RCM stuff, we'll only write these 4 items which will be included in aggregate turnover. So here we'll write aggregate turnover for identifying threshold limit includes the following: taxable supply, exempt supply, interstate supply or export. If you want to write what is to be excluded, that's fine as well, but since we do not have such stuff in the question, so we can ignore it. But if there was anything for regarding GST, however it's written excluding GST. If it was including GST, you should have written what is to be excluded as well. After we write all the relevant provision to solve the answer, we come to facts and analysis. Always start with in the present case or in the present scenario. You just explain a little bit. In the first one, pure oils have supplied machine oils and high speed diesel in the month of April. In the first we have explained what is going on. The second, we will calculate the aggregate turnover of pure oils. It would be as follows. Please make a table if you have time. If not, then please make it this understandable format, wherein leave some space and make it understandable. So the first one, supply of machine, and we will do this in similar way or however it's shown in question. Supply of machine in Delhi 15 lakhs, supply of high speed in diesel in Delhi it's 10 lakhs, supply of machine oil in Punjab it's 10 lakhs, so total aggregate turnover comes to 35 lakhs. In the third one, we'll write pure oil is making an intrastate supply in the state of Delhi and Punjab of goods, and thus the limit applicable for registration is 40 lakhs. Thus, it is not required to obtain the registration. So we came to conclusion that pure oils, or you can start with from the above provisions and analysis, we have concluded that pure oils is not required to avail the registration. So as you can see, it is very easy to do. 15 plus 10, lakhs plus 10 is equals to 35, but limit is 40, therefore not liable to be registered. So this is how we process in our mind, because our mind bypasses all the section to be written, but it should be in this format how we have shown. So if you write this answer, you won't get any marks. So hierarchy can be varied. For example, you can do this third part up front in A, then do this AB and all. It does not matter, but it can be similar to it. So I have discussed this question, and the next video will be discussing some of the few other questions of the same section 22, because it is a very ample and important part of GST. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please give me a like and please comment. Since I am an amateur, you can give me some suggestion or some feedback. in the comments itself, or you can email me as well. I hope to see you in the next video. Thank you guys.